Good morning, students. So previously we were seeing classification of paints, and we saw water-based paints, and further classified water-based paints into distemper and emulsion and uh, all that. And further emulsion also we saw types, and now we will see another type of paint, that is oil-based paint. So oil-based paint means the main solvent here will be oil. It is more durable, but it takes longer time to dry, and cleanup requires turpentine oil or paint thinner for its application. So it is durable, which is advantageous as compared to the water based paint, but it takes longer time to dry, and cleanup also requires longer time. And cleanup requires turpentine oil, and paint thinner is required for its application. So specific needs for cleaning is also there in oil based paints. These types of paints are made with either alkyd, that is synthetic, or linseed oils. So oils may be natural or synthetic. Any type of oil can be used depending on what pigment or what are the purposes of that paint. Generally termed as enamel paint, which comes under different varied colors. These are more durable but changes its original color after the year passes. So with time and also with weather condition, change in color can be seen in long term. Oil based paints come in three finishes: high gloss, satin and matte finish. Similar to water based paint. Similar finishes are there, even matte finish, satin and high gloss finish as well. Can be used on wall, ceiling, door, windows, mosquito meshes, iron frames, furniture, wooden frames, art craft items, etc. So when we were seeing water based paints, we had mentioned that oil based paints find more use on furniture, wooden frames, as well as metal furniture, so iron frames and all that. Usually when paint on iron, a red oxide coat is applied first to protect the iron from getting rotten, that is getting rusted. So when we are using an oil based paint on iron, oxide coating is done before applying that oil based paint. Next is cement paint. Cement paint is water based paint and is applied either exterior or interior walls, including brickwork and concrete. So after water based and oil based, this is the third type, which is cement paint. But here again solvent is water, and it is applied to exterior or interior walls, including bricks and concrete works. It is used for painting exterior wall surfaces, mainly for preventing water penetration and reduction of dirt collection. So to avoid the passage of water vapor or any kind of moisture. There are limited shades of the color offered in cement paints. Variety of colors is not available. Only limited shades are available. Requires ample of amount of water so that cement paint can keep going. It has to be used within 2 hours, or else it can dry up and harden up like a rock. So once you have mixed it with water or whatever solvent, it has to be applied. Its application is to be done within 2 hours, or it will become hard. It is durable and water resistant. It is extensively used for patios, garages, driveways, sidewalks and concrete furnitures. It prevents growth of fungus and bacteria on interior surfaces, and it comes in powder form. Unlike the oil and water based paints, these come in powder form. They are available as powder, then we mix it with the solvent and form the liquid form for application. Characteristics of an ideal paint. So what should be the properties or requirements? What are the requirements of an ideal paint? So first is, when it is applied to any surface, it should form a thin film of uniform nature. So it should be of uniform thickness, and the finish should be uniform. It should not look uneven. Color of paint should withstand the adverse environmental conditions for a long time. So it should not fade easily with weatherability or with time also. As we saw in oil based paint, in long term it tends to change its color. It should be easily applicable with a brush or spraying device. It should have an attractive and pleasing appearance, that is for consumers needs. Then surface paint should not show cracks after drying. It should be elastic, that is it should be able to withstand change in temperature. Thermal attacks, it should be able to withstand thermal attacks. Next, then it should have ideal resistance to corrosion and protect the material over which it is used. And in cases like we saw when we are coating, when we have to paint an iron surface, oxide coatings are used before applying paint so as to avoid the rusting. So in that cases, some coating must be used. It should possess good spreading or covering power, as it determines the cost. So better the spreading power, less amount of paint will be used. So economically it will be better. No marks of roller or brush should be visible in form of bubbles or strips. Paint must not allow molds and algae to grow on it, and it should not have any joints visible in between. Causes of failure in painting. So these are the like what can go wrong while painting. Bad workmanship, that is lack of properly trained uh, people who are applying it. Conditions for painting. What are the conditions? Here it is painting, not painting. Then next is moisture, salts and alkalis in the paint, unsuitable surfaces, wrong choice of paint. Sometimes according to weather or the geographic location as well, in humid if in humid areas we cannot use paint which is easily penetrated by water. Tools of painting. Next, this is wood finishes, another type of paint. Also we can say varnishes. Wood finish on varnish we apply on wood after to protect its layer, like to avoid the wood from going bad. Often the wood's color is changed by staining, bleaching. Once the wood surface is prepared and stained, finish is applied, and this finish is termed as wood finish. Different types of wood finishes are used, such as varnish, lacquer, or sometimes specific paints used or manufactured specially for this purpose. These are the examples. There are different types of finishes available in the market, from low range to high range, as per the requirement of the customer. So these are categorized as low cost, medium cost, and high cost. Characteristics of an ideal varnish. What an ideal wood finish should how it should be. When applied to the wooden surface, it should form a thin film of uniform nature, same as paint. Color of the stainer should withstand for a long time. Easy cleaning, it should have attractive and pleasing appearance. So more or less all points are similar to how the paint finish should be similar. Varnish finish should also be like that. Must be able to withstand change in temperature, good spreading, no marks should be visible, and grain should be visible to give it a natural look if done on wooden surface. It should have smooth surface after drying up, and no dust particle should be there. and no drop off of final coat should be visible. So it should not look like coated, it should look natural. So this is a brief of what classification we saw. This is the classification based on interior and exterior. We started classifying based on the solvent, that is water based and oil based. So interiors include walls, metal and wood, that is for furniture, and exteriors, emulsion, textured and cement paints are used. Here is the application of various types of these surface coatings, including paints and varnishes and all of that. So oil based paints, water based paints, varnishes, lacquers and enamels. So in oil based and water based both type of paints, the major unit operation is grinding or milling, while varnishes in manufacturing of varnishing, cooking, this is the main unit operation. Mixing for lacquers and varnishes similar as enamels, so cooking. Method of application is using brushing, dipping or spraying in all of them, whichever is suitable. So the last row is of applications and major uses. So we can see that oil based paints find maximum use in general, household and industrial applications. Then second is water based paints, and water based paints are particularly used for when we are doing it ourselves, that is DIY applications. Varnishes as finished coating for using on furniture, exterior woodwork, marine application and also in electrical impregnation. Then lacquers is used in finishing metal and furnitures, again for food container linings and fabric coatings. Enamels are used for automobiles and other vehicular parts, used for small household appliances like lamps. So these were the applications of different surface coatings. Next is resin. It is also a type of surface coating. A variety of resins are used in various surface coating formulations. Oil-based paints use essentially no resin, whereas water-based paints contains oil and contains no oil and depend on vinyl acetate, acrylic and butadiene styrene polymer resin as film forming materials. So in water-based paints we will find this resins. Varnishes incorporate one or more variety of natural or synthetic resin. These may be phenolic, alkyd, urea formaldehyde, acrylide, vinyl or silicone resins, as well as natural resins like copal or rosin. Lacquers traditionally contain nitrocellulose as resin constituent but may now be based on phenolic or alkyd resins as well. So in case of resins, India has indigenous rosin, shellac, cashew nut shell, and all these are indigenous resins of India. That is, which means that they are specifically available in India only. However, with advance in paint technology, emphasis has shifted more on the use of synthetic resins. Alkyds, phenolics, maleics, urea formaldehyde, and melamine formaldehyde resin production is now well established in our country. Diluents or thinner are used for as the name suggests, for diluting and for better coverage, for obtaining the better coverage, thinning the paint. So they include aliphatic or aromatic naphtha fractions or turpentine oils. Lacquers employ aliphatic chemicals such as ether, ester, ketone and alcohol to provide the desired control volatility. India has virtually only one natural solvent which can be used as diluent or thinner, That is turpentine, also used in oil. Turpentine oil is also used in oil-based paints. Production of pine oil and dipentine from turpentine has also been started. Also, these are natural, and for synthetic solvents, butyl alcohol, butyl acetate, and ethyl acetate are now being produced. Economics of paint and varnish industry in India. So India is fortunate enough to have abundance, not abundance, but at least all the raw materials are quite easily available. Raw materials of paint industry like gypsum, uh, oxides and other resins like this rosin and turpentine oil, all of these are readily available in India. So paint industry is favored. An era of paint industry in India started in 1902, and Shalimar Paints was one of the oldest paint industries. But real growth started after the Second World War. This was the time when Asian Paints and such companies started. This fully Indian company became the nation's largest paint producer in the next 25 years. And after independence, more and more companies have developed and set up now, which are very well established now. So this is data of up until 1992. These are the capacities of different Indian paint industries. So Asian Paints being the largest producer, then Berger, Garwar, Goodlas, Nerolac, ICI, Jensen and Nicholson, Shalimar. So these are the data up to 1992. So this was classification and introduction about paints industry in the previous video, and which we finished in this video.